Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fishing from the bank at the same place where I made my kayaking videos. But today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I dug up some night crawlers. We're going to be using a night crawler. And if you're wondering why I have it on a jig head instead of a normal hook, we're trying to fish a little bit deeper and there's a lot of little fish out here. So I got it set about 4 foot under a bobber and I got it on a jig head, so hopefully it'll sink down a little bit faster and get past some of them smaller fish. In theory, it should work. So we've probably been here an hour. We just caught our first 2 fish. Just these 2 little bluegill. But we're actually going to go ahead and make a move because we caught them there next to that spillway. But we had to drag them through all this slop. But I know on the other side of these cattails, it's not as much as this slop, and it's be a little bit easier to reel them in. Because this is just stuff here, it's just so hard to drag them through. Even though that's a lot of bushes to walk through, probably 20 yards of just bushes, it'll be worth it because it'll be a lot easier to fight them. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over there and catch you on the other side. Okay, so we just made it over here. We're still using the night crawler, but I shortened it up to about 2 feet deep instead of 4. It seems to be working a little bit better. Fish on. Feels like a pretty good one. First cast over on this side. And of course he wants to run into the cattails. There's still a little bit of slop over here to drag them through, but it's not near as bad as what was over on that other side, as you can tell. Oh, that's a big bluegill. That's a big old bluegill right there. This is the grandpappy of bluegills in this pond. That's a freaking giant. Oh, and of course I dropped him. That's the size of my hand. And he runs all the way past my hand, across my wrist. That's a big bluegill. That's a giant bluegill. He bit my daggone hook. I don't know if y'all can see that, but look how bent my hook is. Guess I gotta retie that now. Okay, I actually didn't retie. I just bent it back. So hopefully that'll work. Hope y'all can see. I know the sun's bright, and there's another one. That's 2 casts in a row, and it got off. That sucks. Well, he didn't get my worm, so that's a good thing. fishing on. He don't feel quite as good. Feels like a little guy. Come on, get out that slop. I knew that was gonna happen. Got off and the hook slung right at my face. That's just part of fishing the slop. Because they're not going to get their self out of it. They're not just going to swim towards you. You got to pull them through it. Just didn't have them pinned. Man, these bugs are biting like crazy. I know I've already showed y'all this once, but I'm going to show y'all again how to clean bluegill. I actually weighed this one, as you can see the scales right here. The big one I caught, he weighed half a pound, so I think that's a pretty solid bluegill in my opinion. Let me get this thing adjusted. What you do is you come here, right here, behind this gill plate like that. Go down. They have a lot of head meat, so you always want to cut in up behind the head a little bit, and then poke in right along his spine, and just you can feel his ribs. You don't want to go through the ribs. Just come down his back. A sharp knife is always a must with these things. And you get right here. You can feel it. Just come through. And pick it up. And then just work your knife down along here. When you get to his ribs, just go around his ribs. These pin bones are pretty tough, and so they'll dull your knife pretty quick. So if you're doing a lot of them, you want to have a sharpener on hand, because these pin bones, they will dull your knife pretty quick. They're pretty tough fish. And then just after you get around there, they have a chunk of meat right here behind their ribs, and it drops off. So you want to get that chunk of meat. I already did. And then you just cut it off. And then you take your fillet, hold it right here on the end, go down to the skin. And that there is your bluegill fillet. Pretty decent sized fillet. And then you just do the same thing on the other side. If you like the video, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I have no idea when I'm ever going to upload. They're kind of random pattern. So make sure to subscribe and hit that bell and turn on notifications so you get notified every time I post a video. Have a good one.